All right, Coach. You ready to start the new season? How are you measuring up your squad?
It's interesting. We've got a lot of new faces in the program. Lost 8 guys last year, including the kids we didn't bring back from last year's team. So we've got a lot of kids that have never played college basketball before. So it'll be an interesting night tomorrow night because a lot of these kids have been off the floor since their high school season ended, and this would be their first competition since then.
Talk a little bit about the makeup of your squad. You say you lost 8, so are you returning a lot of freshmen? Are you bringing in a lot of freshmen? Any sophomores returning?
We've got 12 new kids in the program. We return a total of 3 kids that actually played last year for us. So only 3 kids that saw any type of competition. Bring back a couple of the kids that redshirted for us last year, and then everyone else is brand new to the program, which. I think what that is, the positive in that is that all these kids are really hungry to compete. I expect them to be really excited about playing tomorrow night. We've got, I figure that all 3 sophomores that come back from last year will factor in some capacity. The 2 kids we had redshirt and that were actually in the program but didn't compete last year will both play quite a bit. One of them's injured right now, a kid named Byron Johnson, injured a calf muscle in a scrimmage, so he won't compete tomorrow night, but he'll factor in quite a bit. And then we have a lot of freshmen who right now at this point, it's hard to tell who will compete and who won't because they all are so evenly matched. Some people are kind of stepping forward and being a little more consistent for us. But come tomorrow night, we'll put a lot of different guys on the floor, and it'll be an experimental night.
With it being such a inexperienced team, how is the chemistry and leadership with that team?
Good question, because last year's team, I felt like we struggled at times in the both chemistry area and the leadership area. We didn't have anybody that was real vocal. Chemistry tended to be kind of flat at a lot of games. I think that led to us being inconsistent. This year's team is a lot more determined. We've got a couple of guys that have stepped forward as leaders, not only in the sophomore class, but we have a couple of freshmen that have come in and been very, very influential in what's happened every day in practice. So that's nice to see. I think that should bring our team a little closer, a little quicker, and that's going to be very key to us being competitive early on because there's going to be growing pains with the young team. There always is. In JUCO ball, junior college basketball is defined by young players. Everybody's young. In fact, I had a faculty member say the other day to me, he said, every coach at junior college always says, well, I've got a young team. Well, that's true. We all have young teams. They're all freshmen and sophomores, so it's about who plays best young. And I think the determining factor will be how mature these guys can get in a short period of time, and leadership and chemistry are key in that formula.
Talk a little bit about your strengths there with a young team. Would you consider yourself a perimeter team, a post team?
Our probably what has defined us early on is our post game. Probably going to be a strength, I would estimate. In all 3 scrimmages, our post game has kind of shined. We've got 6 guys we're rotating into the post. All 6 of them bring a little bit something different. I think what really sets us apart is probably the athleticism of them. We're not real big. We got 2 guys at 6'7", and everyone else is smaller than that. But we're athletic. We crash the glass, and so I think inside scoring will be significant. What will make us good is when we can get a consistent play from our perimeter guys. We know our point guard position to be established, and we need our 2 guards, our shooting guards, to really become factors in scoring. And if they do that, we could really be significant comes down the stretch in January, February, and March. I think that our post game could contribute to as much as 70% of our scoring. And so all you ask the perimeter guys to do is to chip in just enough, and if they go well above and beyond that, we could be pretty hard to beat.
So you got some depth then, especially down low.
I like our depth. As I was talking about earlier, because we're so young, depth is hard to gauge. We don't know who, when you turn the lights on and really play competition, you don't know who will step forward. So it'll take a little time to really, truly be able to gauge how deep we are. But as our post game, as I mentioned before, 6 kids will rotate in and out of that position. That's deep. The perimeter, until we get consistent, I think I'll reserve judgment on how deep we are. But we have potential, and that's the exciting thing, is the potential of our perimeter game. If that really comes to be a significant part of our team, then we could be really good. But it's going to take those guys to step forward and mature.
Heading into the season, how's the health of the team?
Really pretty good. Little small nagging injuries, a wrist here, an ankle there. The only significant thing we have right now, and it'll be healed up by probably the weekend, is Byron Johnson hurt a calf muscle. Beyond that, we don't have anybody consistently sitting out, which is a positive. We made it all the way through preseason, all the way through October, with nothing happening that has jeopardized our team. So you got to be positive on that end.
Heading into tomorrow night's game with Wesleyan, have you had a chance to scout them? How are you approaching the game?
No, they're going to be freshmen and sophomore, just like we are. The difference is going to be we're going to be bigger and more athletic. A JV team from an NAIA school, you can expect a lot of players from the state of Oklahoma probably playing for them, and they're probably going to excel in the area of execution. They're going to run their sets and run off screens well. What we have to beat them with is we've got to play extremely hard, and we really got to out-athlete them and hopefully out-execute them in certain areas. They'll be hard to beat in that area. So I think one of our challenges as we go in tomorrow night is to challenge our guys to try to execute well enough to beat them at their own game, and then still be athletic. Yeah, they are definitely a fundamental team. You're talking about kids that can probably shoot the ball real well. And they're going to run their offense very, very exact, a very structured game.
The half court.
You would think, because if we're going to be athletic, I don't think they would want to compete. But they're coming on the road. They're just like us. This will be their first competition. So they're coming on the road with an expectation. They're going to come and try to play hard and do what they do.
And beyond that game, going into the weekend? We
go to West Plains, play the 10th ranked team in the country on Friday night, which is West Plains, at their place. We play a 2-day classic. So that'll be a challenge. They bring back a lot of returning guys that not only played for them last year, but also scored a lot of points for them last year. Then we play on Saturday night. We play a school called Mid-South Community College, which is a community college in the Memphis area. That school is brand new. That program is brand new. So I don't have any idea what to expect. It'll be a team full of kids out of the Memphis area, and how talented, I don't know, and how structured, I don't know. So we'll get a chance to watch them on Friday night to see just how good they are.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you tomorrow night.
Thank you, Brad.